Bristol Rovers claimed the third automatic promotion spot from League Two last season after a dramatic final day that saw them thump Scunthorpe 7-0 to move into the top three for the first time all year. Rovers have enjoyed 3 promotions and suffered 3 relegations in the last 12 years, including dropping to the National League as recently as 2014. Derby have made regular trips to Bristol over the years, mainly to play Rovers' cross-town rivals Bristol City, who lead that all-time head-to-head by 43 wins to 28. The Rams have never visited Rovers at the Memorial Stadium before. The club only moved to the Mem in 1996 and were playing their home games in Bath the last time they welcomed Derby in the 1992-93 season, when the Rams won home and away. The 12,000 capacity Memorial Stadium first opened in 1921 and was dedicated to local rugby union players killed in the First World War. The club's official nickname is the Pirates, reflecting the maritime history of Bristol, but Rovers are also known as the Gas, a reference to the gasworks found next to their former home at Eastville Stadium. Hello and welcome to the preview show from RamsTV. There are just 5 games remaining now in the season for Derby County to try and fight their way into the League One playoff places. It's another important weekend for everyone involved in the promotion race. There's even a couple of lunchtime kickoffs today to complicate things for us. Exeter's game against Plymouth has just got underway on the south coast. Plymouth could be 2 points clear at the top by the time Sheffield Wednesday and Ipswich both play later. Of most interest to Derby is Peterborough's trip to Cambridge. That's a 12:30 start. Posh start that aim 5th, 2 points clear of the Rams. The other important games later, as far as we're concerned, see Wycombe go to Morecambe and Bolton visit Oxford United. Derby, of course, travel to the Memorial Stadium for the first time today to face Bristol Rovers on their soil for the first time in over 30 years. No home game for Derby this week. They're away to Exeter on Tuesday as well. But the players were at Pride Park on Thursday for an open training session in front of a couple of thousand Derby supporters here. Afterward, we grabbed a word with Hayden Roberts.
Yeah, it was nice. These are the people that support us every game, so it's good to have them here. A lot of young supporters, so it's nice to give back to them, sign a few shirts, take photos. So it's good to have them here.
Was it a little bit more intense knowing that people were watching?
We try and train at a high intensity every day, but having them here, we want to have a good example to them because they look up to us. It's nice to have them here.
You've been signing lots of autographs and taking lots of pictures after as well.
Yeah. My back's killing, it's worth it. Yeah.
Does that ever not feel strange when someone wants an autograph or wants a selfie or whatever it is?
For me, it's quite weird. It's the first year really I've had that sort of attention, but it's nice. It's nice to have kids look up to you. It's nice to have that pressure to be a role model on and off the pitch. But like I said, it's a nice pressure to have.
Do you get recognised and approached out and about as well? Have you had to get used to that?
I don't go out too much, but there's been a couple times like in a Tesco or something. So it's nice to speak to the supporters because they're the ones that come here, support us every game through the good and through the bad. So it's good to have that interaction with them.
Let's talk about things on the pitch.
Yeah.
Big Easter just gone, big few weeks to come, outside of the top 6 at the moment. How are you and the boys in that dressing room feeling about the run-in?
We're all positive. We had a bit of a bump. We would have liked to have done better against MK Dons. We know we should have done better, but we can't change it. We've got 5 games left to put it right. It's in our hands. we're all positive. We all back what we're doing. So we're all feeling positive.
I know results are the ultimate thing at this stage of the season, and points matter more than anything. But do you point to the game on Monday against MK Dons, and particularly how well you played first half, and say, if we can do that between now and the end of the season, we should be there or thereabouts?
When we perform like that, like, we know we're capable of it. So that should be the standard for the rest of the games. Anything less, then we're letting ourselves down, because this club deserves to be minimum in the playoffs. We had objectives to be higher, but the situation we're in, we can't change it. So, that's the baseline. We've got to be there. If we want to be in the top 6 and then hopefully push on to the playoffs, then that's the level we've got to be at to get this club promoted.
There's not many weeks of the season left. I mean, this might be one of the final conversations that we have with you at RamsTV, which is weird to think, really, because to me, it only feels like 5 minutes that you arrived. Does it feel like that to you as well?
Yeah, it's been a quick season. We've played 41 games, and it's gone quick. I've loved every minute of it. It's been challenging. There's been enjoyable times. There's been times where it's been hard, but as a young footballer, that's something I'm going to remember for the rest of my career, because I've learned a lot from it. I
know it's almost strange to say, but you want a bit of adversity, don't you, when you're a young player? You didn't want this season to be, I start every game and everything's smooth. I mean, you'll have learned more from what you've been through this year. Nah, definitely. There was times where I was out the team. There's times where I played 6-7 in a row. There's two sides to football. There's the side where you're up here, there's the other side where you're down here. If you can deal with both, because football's up and down. I said before, not getting too high, not getting too low, and I've definitely learned a lot about myself this year. We'll see what the future holds for Hayden Roberts. He'll be trying to keep one of the nominees for League One Player of the Season quiet today, as he and the Rams head to Bristol Rovers. Aaron Collins is the man in question. He scored 15 goals this season and set up 11 more. No one has been involved in more goals in League One this season than him. And despite being down in 14th in the table, Bristol Rovers are on a good run just now. They've won their last 2, 3 of their last 5 and 4 of their last 7 games, though they have only won 6 times at home all season, and were of course beaten 4-2 on their visit to Pride Park back in October. Here's their manager on that, Joey Barton.
They're a good side, and obviously they're chasing a promotion. We know from the game at Pride Park earlier on in the season what a good side they are, and obviously with McGoldrick and Collins, two really good strikers at the top of the pitch. So we've been quite mean in recent weeks in terms of limiting the opponent to opportunities, and let's hope that continues now as we run into some of the big boys in the division.
And looking at ourselves, for a Bristol Rovers player to be in the top 3 players of the season on a short list of Player of the Year must make you very proud.
Oh look, I think Aaron deserves all the credit that comes his way. Whether he goes on to win it or not, for me it'd be nice if he does. But again, I think the fact that we're not in a position to get promoted, and the other 2 nominees on there are, shows how well he's done, and I think. He's been outstanding this season. We're hoping he can finish the season really strong and add to his assist and goal tally. But again, he's had a marvellous calendar year. But for the first season in League One, I think he's rightly nominated. And I say let's hope he can finish the season strong and win it.
I think if you look in the season as well, you've got to be fair and say you can count on one hand the amount of opposition teams that have actually turned us over. I think Derby would probably be in that category. Does that add a little bit of extra incentive for us on Saturday?
Yeah, I think to go to Pride Park, and people forget, the Wednesday night we'd been at Hillsborough and give a great account of ourselves. Obviously, Ryan Loft picked up an injury in that game. Lewis Gibson picked up an injury in that game. And we had to chop and change a little bit, not using it as an excuse, but Derby had a 24-hour recovery window, and obviously they already carried a bigger squad than us, and there was just small marginal gains. We got off to a really slow start. Hooley played left centre half in that game. James Connolly came back from injury with 30 minutes to go in that game, and there was some good signs. We lost the game 4-2, and they really caught us from the jump. That didn't give us the platform to build, but then once the lads settled and kind of realised where we were, there was lots of positives to take out the game.
Joey Barton there, who got the better of his former club Fleetwood last weekend, a victory that meant an awful lot to him. Today he's trying to get some revenge on Paul Warne after the defeat to Derby at Pride Park back in October. And the Derby head coach had the fans in attendance at Pride Park on Thursday for that open training session.
I mean, I can't speak for the players, and I think they appreciate it. I mean, who doesn't like people shouting their name and saying, can you sign this and sign this phone cover and stuff like that? So I presume it's always nice for the lads. I remember in previous seasons I've had it where we had a bit of a wobble, and then we had like an end of season do, and all the fans are going up to the players, can you sign this? Oh, you're doing really great. And it's quite empowering, I think, at times. You sort of forget how important football is. I know you don't forget how important football is, but you forget how sort of popular you are as a player. So it's really good for the players in a weird way, and it's nice for me as a manager because I'm either the pantomime villain or hero, aren't I? It's a weird one for me. So obviously it's lovely here. Every time I come to the ground, there's always fans there. There's always fans when you come out. The fans have been really good to me, in fairness. So it's nice to meet more personally than I normally would. So yeah, I quite enjoyed that. Had loads of photos. I always try and change my facial expression, but I ran out of them in the end. I was cross-eyed, I had a tongue out, I had loads of stuff going on. But it's nice, and like I preached to the lads before they went out, and they'll probably tell you that, if that was me and I was 6 or 7 or 8 years old, say, and I went to Carrow Road with my dad or my mum and met the players and see them in real life and get things signed, it's like something you'll never forget. So it's nice to be part of people's memories like that.
I almost don't want to ask, but what was the facial expression when you watched the clips back from Monday's game? You don't have to do it.
My hands behind my head. No, in fairness, I openly admit I don't try and lie and come out with cliches. I was very down on Tuesday. We played Monday, didn't we? I was trying to sort my days out. Sorry. Yeah, very down on Tuesday, to be fair. Then I watched the game back, and then I watched it back with specific clips back with the staff, because there was times where we got pulled about a little bit too much and jumped a bit too much. But I just watched it back, really proud of the lads. I thought they were excellent, and unfortunately you judged on results, not on performances. But I don't think we can play a lot better and not win. Unfortunately for us, the time they get into our box, they hit a shot and it deflects off Tom and goes in, and that sort of sums us up a little bit, I think. When we get punished, we do get punished, and I don't know, we had 30, 28, 30, whatever, proper attempts at goal, and we were only fortunate enough to take one. So I was hugely frustrated, but then hugely proud. And in fairness, all we can do is try and drive performances, get the best out of the lads, and sometimes it's just not to be. And unfortunately, just recently at home, it's not to be, which is disappointing, because our home form was really good, and the home fans have stayed, as the away have obviously, but home fans have really stayed with the team. And I just think everyone left the ground Monday just frustrated. I wasn't angry, I was just frustrated. I sound like a parent now, and a bit disappointed that it was an opportunity wasted, and you don't get many opportunities. Look, we're still in the hunt, but we are making it difficult for ourselves. There's no point disputing it. So I see it now that we're in a mini league, really, and I've said that for a few weeks now, but it's us, Wickham, Peterborough and Bolton, really, playing for 2 spots. And I know Bolton have got a game in hand, so that's no guarantee, but they have. So I spoke to the lads about the fixtures those 3 teams have got over the next couple of games, and we just have to try and beat their results. And we're not to know that 3 points out of the next 2 isn't enough to get us in the playoffs. Ideally it'd be 6. And anything below 3 would possibly be very disappointing. But we need to pick up points on the road. And if the level of performance is like it was in the last couple of games, we won't be far away. It's just them moments, them tiny moments. James Collins hits the post, and those little moments like that, you just need to go your way to be successful, and that's the truth.
There he is, Derby boss Paul Warne. This was the League One table coming into the weekend, with Sheffield Wednesday top and Plymouth edging Ipswich by a single point. The leaders have played a game more though. It is still goalless in that early kick-off between Plymouth and Exeter, by the way. Bolton have a game in hand as well. They keep Derby out of the top 6 on goal difference. Peterborough have eked out a 2-point cushion. Wickham are within a win of the playoffs now too. Bristol Rovers down in 14th, but they're well clear of the relegation scrap. Forest Green's fate can be sealed today. Morecambe still fighting, but have played more games than anyone else. Yeah, just 4 to go for them. 5 remaining for Derby County, starting with today's trip to Bristol Rovers. And overseas viewers can watch the action with us on RamsTV in Matchday Live from 2:30. Get your Game Pass now at dcfc.co.uk. We'll have former Rams skipper Michael Johnson alongside on commentary for this one. So do join us then if you can. Goodbye.